Okay, Nadia, let's talk about range etiquette. What to do, what not to do so you don't get a wrist slap at your first time at the range.
Okay.
Things I wish someone would have told me when I first started.
Right. You don't really think about like range etiquette. There's all different types of etiquette out there, but yeah, this
And
one.
a first experience can make and break how you feel about guns.
Yeah.
So the first time you come to the range, there's a lot of things that might feel intimidating because it's all new. So a little bit of heads up goes a long way.
Okay.
So the first thing to pay attention to is read the signage.
Oh, okay.
If there's signage at the range, take the 30 seconds to actually pay attention to it. Someone had to go about making that sign because enough people didn't know. So be in the know and read the signage.
Signage, yeah. Got it.
The second thing to note is where do they want you to put your eyes and ears on? Have them out and ready in your hands before you even get out of the car.
Okay.
That way you will walk into something and already be ready to put them on. Some ranges want them on in the parking lot. Some of them when you are in your bay, some of them on property at all times. So just have them at the ready. That's an easy little life hack, on range life hack.
Yeah.
Third thing, figure out who the range safety officers are and make friends.
Okay.
It's a good insider scoop. Make
I'm
friends
sure.
with the RSO.
Yeah.
You'll know who they are. They're wearing a vest, a jacket, a ball cap that says RSO, Range Safety Officer.
Okay.
And the best way to make them happy is actually go to the range's website in advance and read the range rules. It'll take you 15 minutes at the most, but knowing before you go saves you a lot of headache and heartache. And little things like we don't allow food on the range. That's good to note. Some indoor ranges won't even allow you to bring beverages or water into the range space, indoor range space.
Interesting.
Little things. You could 5-minute read.
Just read up on it, and then come prepared.
So that when you go make friends with that range safety officer, be like, hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Nadia.
I've
new.
read all the rules, and then now you're his favorite.
Exactly. Because no one ever talks to the RSO. Because they look mad. But they're not.
They're just keeping everyone safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once you've built that rapport, if you have a question, the other half of that conversation is, I'm new, I've read the range rules, but if I have a question, is it all right if I ask you? And all the heart stars, sparkles, you know have a new BFF. And they are absolutely some of the most lovely people, but a little bit of love goes a long way. Costs nothing to be kind.
For sure.
So they're there to help you for that.
Okay.
Another thing to note is that if you are setting up your gear, you just arrived, you're unpacking, pay attention to what's going on with the people around you and downrange. Because when you walk onto the range itself, there might not be live fire happening in that moment.
Right.
The range might be considered cold.
What does that mean?
Cold means nobody is shooting, nobody is touching guns, and in some ranges, no one is even touching ammunition to prep magazines. Cold means hands off.
Gotcha. Okay.
So some people might, if the range is cold, be able to take their eyes and ears off for that intermittent spell before the range is called hot again, which means now the environment and conditions are safe. Everyone is on the same page. And as a group, we can load hot and shoot it well.
Okay. So really paying attention to cold and hot bays and areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Many people come in with blinders on and they're only focused on them and what they're doing. You got to be part of a bigger community.
Got it.
As it is a community effort. The range safety officer is there to be the overwatch, but we're all in it together.
Yes.
So if you walk on the range and it's particularly quiet, it's entirely possible that it might be a cold range.
Okay.
Which could imply or might mean that someone is downrange. Which means another fun phrase, right? I had to Google this once upon a time because I had no idea what I was like, that makes sense. I know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I was going to go Google it after this if you didn't tell me.
Right?
Yeah.
So what that means is some ranges, the targets cannot come forward and back to you. You have to go to the target itself to reset, repaste, put new stickers up or pictures up to work on.
Gotcha.
And that might imply that someone is forward of the firing line doing that work.
Yes.
And there's a time and a place when the range is cold to do that. So where do new shooters get in trouble? They think, well, no one is shooting. I'm a little behind. Well, I'll just unpack my gear. So a lot of problems there. A lot of problems there. Because as soon as you make physical contact with that firearm, you are now pointing it in a direction where someone could exist in that space. So if the range is particularly quiet, you should ask the RSO, you know, is the range cold?
It's cold.
Don't make any assumptions. Ask.
I was going to say, if you're not sure, you should always just make sure. Okay.
Because as soon as you touch that firearm to lift it up, to pick it up, to put it down to unpack, you've literally just pointed a gun at someone.
Yeah.
And that's number one. We don't do that, right? Very bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Some ranges too, they don't want to see you even reaching in that range bag because it makes them nervous that that might be what you're doing.
Yeah.
So just go hands off with all the gear until the RSO gives you the thumbs up and lets you proceed from there.
Wow. Okay.
Paying attention to the folks around you is a big deal.
Yeah.
Another big ticket one on safety in the ranges is if you see something that makes you uncomfortable, right? We often say that everyone is a range safety officer because it's our collective responsibility to maintain safety of ourselves and the people next to us. And if you see somebody down there and you could cease fire, shuts the person down next to you from shooting because someone walked ahead. So that kind of interactivity is important.
Yes.
However, there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
Right? That being said, not everybody is a team player. And if you're at the range and you see behaviors that are not making you comfortable, a shooter that's making you feel unsafe, you need to participate in that conversation, though not directly with that individual. That's the range safety officer's job.
Okay.
So it's your job then, if you're feeling uncomfortable, to validate those feelings. They're real.
Yeah.
Go to the range safety officer and bring it to their attention.
Yeah.
They should immediately address it.
Yeah.
If it persists and continues, you're under no obligation to stay. Pack your things up, come back another day, write a nice letter explaining what happened and why, it's always resolved well.
Okay.
So just note that you are always in the driver's seat.
Okay.
You should always feel safe at the range, like you're part of a community that is invested in your safety as well as theirs.
Yes.
And as long as you're a participant in that, the whole community goes forth and does great things.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, there's so many things in that I didn't even think of before, like the range safety officer, making sure that it's down bay. There's a lot to think about.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
We are nerds at the range. You're going to make so many friends.
Yeah.
People are going to teach you a million things.
I'm sure.
Don't be
I can't
shy.
wait to learn it. I can't wait to learn it all. Yeah, I learned so much just now, like that I didn't even know about, but it's just like it makes total sense. Like, to just keep everyone safe and having you feel safe in that environment. Yeah, that's really refreshing to hear.
You're not alone.
Yeah, so that's good.